What is going on, everyone? I'm Hunter Doyle here from Philly Insider. We've got a prospect interview today. James Madison quarterback Cole Johnson. Thank you so much for joining us, Cole. We appreciate you. Before we get into it, I just want to read off some of your accomplishments. One, you're a draft prospect. Congrats on getting here, man. I think that deserves a lot of recognition in and of itself. I tell every guy that, it's amazing to be at this point where you're looking to take your talents to the next level. FCS National Performer of the Year. I believe you're the Conference Player of the Year as well. 58 career passing touchdowns, 6,511 passing yards, man. Congrats on just what's been an outstanding career at James Madison. And just tell us how you're doing and how the draft process has been for you.
Yeah, it's been really good. Obviously, kind of going through this the first time, it's something very new, and so I'm kind of leaning on people that have gone through this before and kind of understand all the uncertainty that goes along with it. Definitely a lot of new stuff, and I'm glad I'm done with my pro day, and a lot of waiting going on, waiting for the draft now, and hearing from different teams. So it's exciting, but nerve wracking as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can imagine. And just tell us a little bit about how you got to this point. Obviously, we know you spent, a lot of time at James Madison prepping for this moment, but kind of go back before that, like, growing up around football, how you got into football, and just your journey to this point.
Yeah, so I was kind of around a bunch of different sports growing up. I have a brother and sister close in age to me, so we was always around different sports: basketball, football, lacrosse, swimming. So kind of end of middle school, start of high school, I actually got into wanting to be a quarterback, and developed from there, and played pretty well to earn a couple of scholarship offers, and then went to James Madison and sat for about 4 years. I had a little bit of backup time, and ended up losing to Ben DiNucci, who's obviously got drafted by the Cowboys, and sat behind him for 2 years, and learned a lot from those other quarterbacks. And fortunately was able to play 2 years with the COVID rules, and get 2 seasons in, which it was, worked out perfectly for me. And, I think it worked out for the best.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, hey, that time spent preparing, I'm sure was very beneficial. And, just talking about Ben DiNucci a little bit, I mean, obviously James Madison has had guys go to the NFL. That's no secret. But just seeing someone at your position who you played behind and got to learn from, how encouraging is it to see him take his talents to the next level as you're trying to go to the draft now, too?
Yeah, it's really cool to see a guy like that who was, sitting in the quarterback room with you, and then ended up get drafted, and started a game of Monday Night Football. And it was really cool to just kind of, see how he kind of rose to that position, and staying there in the NFL. He's a guy who I lean to for advice a lot, and he gave me a lot of great advice going through this process. Just kind of, how to understand what to expect from the draft, and the pre-draft process. He's been really great in that regard. So he's a guy I learned a lot from, and got to get a lot of good advice from.
Absolutely. So I'm an Eagles fan, so I did watch that game that he started. And I mean, it was close at halftime. So credit to him. I mean, literally on the spot had to start pretty much.
Yeah.
Just an incredibly tough situation for him to step into. That was really cool to just see him get that opportunity, I'm sure, especially for you. And so I want to talk about school for a little bit too. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I think you completed your undergrad in 3.5 years, and you got your master's certificate in cyber intelligence. I mean, I know you spent 6 years at JMU, but that's still incredible accomplishment to get to that point. Just talk about a little bit, just brag on yourself a little bit, professionalism, just how important school was to you, and just taking that, out into football and beyond football, off the field as well.
Yeah, I think it's something I really take advantage of, those extra years, and basically free schooling. So
Hey,
I was able to obviously get my undergrad, and then complete my master's certificate in cyber intelligence. And then also this past, about 2 years, I've worked in a financial advisory firm close to James Madison, part-time as well, even during the season. So that's kind of been my class time for me, is working there, and gotten some job experience, which a lot of these athletes lack going into the workforce. Everybody's been working internships throughout the summers, and we're kind of obviously up at school during the summers. So kind of getting ahead on that, in case, having a plan B in case, professional football doesn't work out.
Yeah, I think that says a lot, man, that you're just willing to work hard and have that plan B as well. Obviously, I think plan A is going to work out just fine for you, but you can only even the best of the best can only play the game for so long as well. So it's always good to have that in the back pocket. But you did all of that while also playing probably the most difficult position to play in all sports. That I think that's fair to say. Just tell us a little bit about, getting into the football side of things, your play style at the position. I believe you measured 6'5", 215 this past year. You've got a cannon. You can run a little bit. Tell us a little bit about what you can do on the football field.
Yeah, I think my strengths are really my intelligence, my ability to understand defenses, and I think I play with a lot of touch and accuracy. And I feel like I have good accuracy both in short and intermediate up to the deep range as well. I think if you look at what makes a quarterback successful in the NFL, I was listening to an interview the other day. It's making the right throw at the right time to the right person. So, um, you know, uh, running fast and throwing the ball super hard isn't always something that guarantees somebody to be successful in the NFL. I think I have underrated athleticism. I wouldn't say I have over the top athleticism, but when I need to make a play or get out of a bad situation, I think I can. Um, but I think I play with a lot of touch and accuracy and ability to put the ball in the right spot for my receivers. And I think that's what will make a quarterback successful at the next level.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I mean, there's plenty of guys who come into the league. They show out at the pro day, show out at the combine because of arm strength and 40-yard dash times or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
But you obviously don't have any defenders out there, and you've
Mm-hmm.
shown you can do it with guys out there, as everyone else has. But at the same time, you talked about your IQ. That is something that I've consistently read about you and heard about you. That people just say it's off the charts. So just walk me through, kind of without giving away secrets, obviously, your film study process and just, kind of what it looks like reacting to certain coverages, getting from your first to fourth progression, and how you think that translates from, what you did this past couple years to going to the next level.
Right. Well, I think I've been blessed for being in college so long. I got to play under three different offensive coordinators, so really get to learn from three different play styles, three different guys who have had great experience, in college football. Most recently, under Tino Sinceri, who came from Alabama. He played, at Pitt, and then he, coached at Alabama and Florida State and Tennessee. So just having that knowledge of all the current, the current systems and the different nuances that these high level SEC and what the next level are doing, and then the playing calling is something I feel like I've really excelled in the past years. Learning defenses, understanding coverages and blitzes and different offensive strategies. So I think that's something I've really been able to use my mentors and my coaches to learn from them, and hopefully I get into a spot where I have an offensive coach or offensive system that uses the quarterback's intelligence to dissect the defense.
Well, that's encouraging to have, especially guys with experience at Alabama. I'm sure you'll see some of the same stuff pop up when you're going through installs this upcoming summer and everything. That's definitely encouraging to hear. And something that I think when I watched you that really stood out to me was also just your pocket presence and ability to navigate there through traffic, and sorting things out and reset your feet, and then also just your ability to be tough and be aware and just take a hit, man. I mean, I think that was something that really stood out to me. So just talk a little bit about those two abilities and what you're kind of working on there, and what you've worked on to get them to the point they're at.
Yeah, I think my pocket presence could obviously be. I have so many things I would love to work on, which is so great about the quarterback position. Is there's so
Yeah.
many facets. I think it's the hardest position in all sports because there's so many facets you can work on, not just mentally but physically. And so I think in that aspect of pocket presence, it's something I do have to keep working on. But I feel like I did a solid job at at the level I was at. But with having guys like Aaron Donald, these crazy speed rushers at the next level, you're going to be next level in your pocket movement. And then, as far as toughness and competitiveness goes, I don't think I'm second to anyone. I feel like I'll go out there and lead my team, and I have all confidence myself that you can hit me as hard as you want, and I'll get back up. And if I can look up, I can get up. So, I feel like that's something that also, sets me apart is my toughness and my competitiveness.
Yeah, that kind of, as an Eagles fan again, that kind of reminds me of like when Carson Wentz was coming out of FCS school, just
Yeah.
seeing him, especially the year we won the Super Bowl, seeing him step up in the pocket, take some tough hits. I mean, literally tore his ACL, MCL, IT band, and went out and still threw a touchdown on fourth goal. So like,
Yeah.
that's just that toughness is going to serve you well. And do you think that kind of coming from a non-FBS school kind of gives you a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, or is that not something you really think about very much?
Yeah, I think it's been more prevalent than ever. I feel like at this draft process when a lot of people are evaluating these FBS guys who they played FBS talent, and I think we have got a lot of good FCS teams that could beat a lot of FBS teams. Obviously, playing in the playoffs every year. That you see we're moving up to FBS now and moving up to Sun Belt. So I think it's a good move for them. But I think there is a little bit of a stigma towards FCS players, and I think top to bottom, obviously the competition isn't as great, but I think the top of the crop and FCS can compete with a lot of those teams in FBS. So I do think it's a little bit of a knock when people say I played FCS.
Absolutely. I mean, and James Madison, that's not anyone to knock on. You guys have been consistently making deep playoff runs every single year. So I agree with you on that. And just talking about the NFL level a little bit and just kind of you talk a lot about the facets of the quarterback position. Are there any certain guys, I know you're spending a lot of time watching your own film, of course, but are there any certain guys you're trying to pull from and kind of implement aspects of their game into your own?
Right. I think there's so many quarterbacks at the next level that I like to take different pieces of and different traits. Brady's leadership and competitiveness. Rogers' accuracy and arm strength, and different ways to throw the ball. And look at Patrick Mahomes. Ability to just make a play and their offense. And so there's so many people I look up at the next level, and hopefully I get a chance to learn from one of those guys in that system and kind of develop into one of those people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they're all in the AFC now, which is just crazy. With Russell
Yeah,
Wilson getting traded and everything. It's just
yeah.
wild. But you talked about your pro day earlier. I saw some clips. Everyone thought you did really well. How did you feel about your performance, and what were you kind of hoping to showcase to teams that about your ability that you were kind of working on up to that day?
Yeah, I felt that went really well. Unfortunately, we got a little bit of rain, so we ended up moving. We have about a 60-yard indoor facility at JMU, so it wasn't a full indoor facility, but we were able to kind of go through my script, and I focused primarily about 2/3 under center work, because I think I've thrown maybe under 10 balls under center in
Mm.
college, which is how a lot of college offenses are now. But I think different pocket movement, different play action, ability to throw the ball from different angles, and just showing that I can make every throw, whether that's touch, on a line, deep ball, short, intermediate, as what I showed. And I felt it went really well. And I think people say, "Oh, there's a lot of pressure on it." Well, there's nobody running at you, and you're in shorts and a t-shirt, and the people are wide open. So I think it is good to show your wider range of passes. But if you look at the game film, I think that's what is a little bit more accurate. And I think that's what they watch more than just you out there in shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, just being able to adapt to a different environment and move inside like that on the fly is something
Yeah.
that I'm sure will go under the radar, but should not go unnoticed. So, I also want to ask you, speaking of aspects of your game you're working on, you talk about being under center a little bit more. Um, Going to the next level, like preparing for your first NFL season, what are kind of some of the big things you really think you want to hone in on and focus on for year one?
Yeah, I think I've been talking to a lot of guys and trying to understand, what that big jump is they see when going to the NFL. And a lot of guys have told me the speed of the game is a lot different, and just everything happens so much quicker. So I think that's something I'll see. Hopefully, get into a camp and get into that playbook. And I feel like once I get into that system and learn the offense, that I'll have a better understanding of the expectations. But right now, kind of it's just staying in shape and making sure I'm as heavy and strong as possible, and working on my speed and all that right now. I weighed in 220 for my pro day. I think I played around 215 this season. So if I get close to that 225, 230 range, I think that'll make the scouts and everybody a lot happier. Just kind of see that, have that durability. But as far as right now, it's kind of a waiting process, just staying in shape, kind of working out, trying to improve on yourself every day, and just hoping to get that call.
Yeah, just get 1% better every day. That's all you can do right now. So,
For sure.
yeah, and I mean, getting ready for installs and everything like that, it all starts with just showing your value in that quarterback room and in the film room with those guys. So I'm sure you're going to do that. It sounds like you've got a good head on your shoulders. So I just want to ask you one more question as we wrap up here. What are NFL teams getting if they bring Cole Johnson onto their roster? Like, obviously I hope that's the Eagles, but I can't control that. But, what are you kind of hoping to, if you had one message, like an elevator pitch to these teams, what are you hoping that they know about you?
Yeah, I think you're getting, a smart, tough, proven winner at quarterback who's shown to be able to lead a team and go out there and execute an offense whenever they're, called to. And I think, I'm that in that position where I don't have to go in and be the guy right now, but I think having the opportunity to develop under, another quarterback or another system for a couple of years, I think my potential to learn and grow is still, there's a lot of potential for me out there to get better and better. So, I think I've only tapped a certain portion of that potential right now. So, I think I got a lot of great stuff that I've shown on film, and there's stuff out there that I can keep getting better on, which, I strive to work on every day. And I don't think anybody out there is going to be outworking me. So, I think in those aspects, that's what a team's going to get from me. And, hopefully on draft day or in that draft area, I get a call and can get to a camp this summer.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited to see, you at the next level. And especially now that, COVID's kind of, hopefully a lot of the restrictions are going away. We can see you play preseason ball as well coming up before the season starts. So I'm really excited for that. Really excited to see you play in the regular season soon too. And, thank you so much for this opportunity, Cole. Really appreciate you hopping on here, man. Is there anything you'd like to add before we sign off?
No, I appreciate you having me on. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, of course. All right. Best of luck in the rest of the process, Cole. And we're looking forward to see you suit up next year. So thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you guys later. God bless.